Marshmallow.
Yeah.
Cutie boy. Hello everyone, welcome to Little Earth-Steading channel. My name is Mariah, and today I'm gonna plant some celery and some celery that I started from seed, and then also walk you around my beginner garden. So this celery I started from seed about middle of January, and it's kind of an experiment. As you can see, I started a lot of them, but I'm going to experiment with this hoop house that I makeshifted. I just did like the standard, rebar, and then got some PVC and bent it, and then put them on the rebar. And then also I have some clamps that I got from Home Depot, and they came with nails, and so I took the nails out and then put them one on the center of the PVC, and then one on the bottom of this side that I'm on for just the end pieces. These clamps, the way they work, these ones just stay in place. They're kind of small for it, but they still work. So these clamps, the ones on top, they stay in place, and then the ones on the bottom that you see here, I just pull them up when I want to see inside the greenhouse or the hoop house, and it is quite steamy in there. I put a thermometer inside, and it is currently about 78, 77 degrees in there, and the humidity is just under 70, so I'm gonna have to water them. I think some plants are starting to break ground here. This one looks like it got out of place by something else, but things are still coming up, and everything's looking good. I started those radish maybe a couple weeks ago, and they're all starting to sprout up probably within the last 3 or 4 days. And then I also have some Swiss chard in here that I started the same time I started the celery, and they're starting to get better true leaves on them. And so those are looking really good as of now. It stays pretty warm in here, so I'm not surprised things are doing well, but I just have to stay on top of like watering and making sure they're all happy and healthy. And then also I have some collards in there as well, just 4 collard plants, and they're doing pretty well. They're kind of growing slow, but I'm not really familiar with growing collard, but I wanted to try growing collards, so I just started some seeds of it, put them out here, and just seeing how they do. And it's been quite sunny for where we are. I kind of started getting on a tangent here and started talking about my garden before actually planting my celery. So without further ado, let's plant some celery. So as you can see, I don't have that much room within this hoop house that I've made for all of the celery that I have started. So I think my plan is I'm going to plant what I can in this area, and I don't have a hori knife, so I'm going to have to find something to measure with. So I'll just plant what I can in this area, and then come back a little bit later and plant the rest. I need to get more rebar in order to finish off this row. They ran out at Home Depot, so I'll have to try and figure out something to do there. Okay, now I'm going to close this up. I got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 in there. But I have maybe like 50 more to go. I don't know. So I'm going to bring these back inside and let them continue growing in this until I can extend this. Now, I think it's time for a little garden tour. So, as you can see, we have 2 raised beds right here. So we repurposed the metal and the wood from our property. As you can see, that there's a shed over there, and there was a kind of an overhang, a lean-to, if you will, that had metal on as the roof, and then of course wood as the frame. And so we took the metal and we cut it in half just to make the metal a little bit shorter, the corrugated metal, but a little bit shorter. And we used that as sides, and then used the wood for the actual structure. And there was also some 4x4s that were pressure treated that we also used for these raised beds. These both are 4x12 raised beds. So I'm just hoping that there's enough space in between them. Like I said, there's about maybe 3 foot of space in between them. So that's enough to like put a wheelbarrow across or whatever I want to do there. Or even put like an archway or something if I wanted to grow something vertical. So I could still do that. And then I could even, if I wanted to do something vertical, I could even put the structure kind of parallel with the raised bed, so we could see how that does. On to over here. So this cherry tree was on the property already. So what I did was I just filled in the area with some compost, and then I planted the strawberries that I had already in this compost. And then I also got some saffron crocus, which are over there and bordering along that side. And so far, everything looks pretty good. The strawberries, they set in, so I'm not too worried about them. And then, so over here, where we were just at planting celery, I did 6 no-dig beds. They're kind of short right now. My plan is, once we burn what we have left to burn, I will extend these over so that these no-dig beds can be longer. And right now, this is the only kind of greenhouse hoop cover that I have. So I'm just putting in like cold hardy plants, vegetables, like radish and carrots and Swiss chard and collards, and then most recently the celery. So we'll see how that does, and then hopefully on hot days I can remember to open the house so it doesn't get too hot in there. And then over here, back in maybe it's October, early October, end of September, I put in some garlic. I've never grown garlic before, so like I said, this is a beginner. Those are the ducks. They're saying hello. But like I said, this is a beginner garden, so I'm hoping I'm not starting off too big for myself. So I have garlic there. And I just did like a little small patch, maybe like a 3x2 patch of garlic, kind of spread out from each other, just so that I can see how they grow and just save those for seed next year if it does fine. And then the other plan for this area, this no-dig bed area, is for like stuff like corn and squashes and beans and stuff, a lot more stuff that I can grow vertically, or stuff that's just kind of smaller Oh, one thing I forgot to mention that is in my raised beds right now. I started this winter sowing method. Some of it seems to be going good, but then others like onions and leeks aren't really going well for me. There's nothing in the leeks right now. There's only one red onion. You can see that. And then, but like everything else, like the cabbage that I have in the green one, and then like some herbs that I've started, like oregano and thyme. And I think cilantro was up, but I don't see it anymore. So maybe that has not come up yet, and I thought it came up. So, well, oh, no. I see it right there, but it's kind of hard to see. It's hard to see on this. But there's one thing there. But like the oregano, as you can see, those are doing pretty well. The thyme is doing really well. But the echinacea, I don't see yet. So there's nothing in the echinacea. And then I started another like second planting of leeks, but I don't see them yet either. So I don't know if leeks and onions just hate me or they're just not up yet. So this is the vegetable part of the garden. I'm also planning for this hill right here to put like grapes, and then also like one row of grapes, and then another row of like berries, maybe raspberries and blueberries is my thought. And yeah, so that's the vegetable / berry garden area. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention is over here. So we're going to be putting a fence in this area, and it's kind of like a driveway right here, but it's not finished. We're going to put gravel in this area, but we're going to have a fence on this line over here. But I'm not sure where it's going to end. So I'm holding off on adding anything additional in this area. Just so I know how much space I'm going to have once the fence is in. So now I'm going to take you to the medicinal part of the garden, which I'm really excited about. There's still a lot of work to do in that area, a lot more than the vegetable garden. The vegetable garden was a lot more simple because I decided to do a lot of no dig and just 2 raised beds. I didn't want too many raised beds. I knew that. But yeah, my favorite part of the garden for sure is going to be the medicinal plant garden area, because there's going to be a lot more diversity and a lot more perennials. So I won't have to plant it every year, but I'm just excited about it because this is going to be like the pretty part of the garden. Like there's going to be a lot more flowers and things that I can use in the kitchen that are just really beneficial for my health. And to learn about herbalism is something that I really enjoy. So this is the medicinal area of the garden. One thing that is going to happen is once that's extended, there's going to be a little path here because we do have animals, so there's going to be a path to another gating off the garden area from the animal area, and that's where the ducks will stay, which they're over there right now, but they'll have more access to everything over there. And then our 2 goats will have access down there. They're currently not down there because we don't have quite good fencing down there, but we want them to eat those blackberries that are sitting in the creek right now. So that will happen eventually. It's just we need to figure out our fencing ideas and how we're going to do that. So far, I've done these kind of raised, like no dig beds again, but they're bordered with branches. This one got a little bit messed up. That has to be fixed, but right now there's Marshmallow. Oh, no, this is Lovage, and I gotta make sure that they're okay. I think they will be. It doesn't look like they got too messed up. And actually, is that grass? That's grass. But they are here. This is Lovage. Oh, what is this? That's not Lovage. The first time I heard of using Lovage for medicinal purposes is when I was harvesting it from a lovely medicinal herb grower in Eugene. And she told me, hey, you could harvest Lovage root. And I was like, what do you do with Lovage root? And she told me that Lovage root is really good for, UTIs and urinary health. And Lovage root tea is, oh my gosh, it is so delicious and just so aromatic and amazing to drink, and it puts you in another world. It's just really delicious. And I just put some hay on the Lovage just to protect it from frost or any weather that we'll have. I didn't put that much because at the time I didn't have that much, but I totally should go back and put more on there. And right now, actually, in our duck coop, we're doing the deep litter method, and it's working really well. Like, it doesn't smell too much in there. I'll turn it every now and then yesterday morning I turned it, and then I put a layer of chopped straw on top of it, and just for fresh bedding. And the last time I did that was about 3 weeks ago. So yeah, that's working out, and that'll be a good resource for composting, because I have composting beds right there. That's not gonna stay there. The greenhouse that I'm planning to get will be going in this area here. So it's just, this area is just meant to be like really pretty. There's still work to do. There's a lot more work to do on this than what I thought, but this is gonna be the really pretty, eye-catching part of the garden. So back to it. So in this next pod, I have Marshmallow, and Marshmallow root is very mucilaginous, very good for your hair, good for coating your throat if you've got like sore throat or anything like that. It's also really cool to eat the dried root. Sometimes I'll do that because it just turns into this gooey mess, and it doesn't taste too bad either. So this is Marshmallow, and I just have maybe 3 plants of it in there, which is probably way too many because it's gonna spread like crazy. But Marshmallow is very pretty. It's a pretty plant, and I'm excited to grow her in my garden. The next pod that I have over here is, what is it? Ginseng, I believe. And I think this is it, but I'm not very sure because I had planted those seeds maybe in October when they came from United Plant Savers. And so I wasn't really sure. I was like, sure, I'll plant them because they were already like inoculated. So I was like, sure, I'll plant it, but I don't know if it's the right time for my area, but apparently it is because they need a lot of cold stratification in order to grow and germinate. So that's what I have here, and there's like tons of those seeds over here. So we'll see what comes up. Yeah, I think this might be it, but I'm not really sure. And then over to this very big pod, which is about maybe 6 by 6, I'd say. I'm not really sure. Of course the ducks want to yell while I'm talking. But this very big pod, I planted a lot of Echinacea root. There's absolutely a ton of Echinacea in this area here. Again, I had harvested the root, and I got it for 1, for harvesting to use the root, and then 2, also to plant. So there's a really big crown here. There's little crowns everywhere else. Like, there's a crown there, and she looks like she's growing. There's some crowns over there. So this whole area probably has a lot of Echinacea in it, and did I say Echinacea? This is Elecampane. Oh my goodness. This is Elecampane. And Elecampane is very expectorant. It's a great expectorant. It smells so fragrant. I love roots and herbs that smell super fragrant and just get your soul going, you know? Like, I don't know. Elecampane is one that I've come to love. And Elecampane honey, Elecampane tea, Elecampane syrup. She's just a wonder worker. Just good for your lungs, good for your throat, good for your soul. So I want to grow her in my garden. So on the other side, probably the corner portion of this pod is Echinacea, which I was saying Echinacea before, but Elecampane is over there, Echinacea is over here. And I once again put a bunch of straw on it, but I didn't have enough at the time, so I'm gonna need to put more. I haven't really checked her out in a while, so let's see. I'm hoping she didn't rot on me. It doesn't look like she did. So we'll just have to see how she does, and when it gets warmer, see how she does and how she grows, and if this was successful. And if it wasn't, then that's okay, because I can always replant during the springtime when it's a better time to plant. I planted these probably in December, January time frame. So it's kind of not really you can with roots, you can do that, but you don't always want to do that. So that is Echinacea. And like I said, the greenhouse would go right over here in this area. I'm just going to get a Harbor Freight greenhouse. 1, because it's cheap. 2, because we have a bunch of renovations going on and I don't want to add to our list of things to build. So I figured I will compromise somewhere and get a ready-made greenhouse. And I wasn't going to, because all of the ones that I saw were very expensive. So I was like, hey, it might be cheaper to just build it. But this Harbor Freight greenhouse is a 6x8. They also have a 10x12, which is a little bit too big for the area that I want. So I'm going with the 6x8, and it's under $500. So that's not bad for a greenhouse. So over here is an apple tree, which needs a lot of pruning. And that is something that I will work on today, because I'm not very much of an expert of pruning, but I need to try, because we have 2 apple trees on our property and the cherry tree. So I need to learn how to prune fruit trees. And so I did the same thing as I did with the cherry tree. I put kind of like a fruit guild thing going on. Put cardboard down, no dig style, and put compost on top. I want to get wood chips and put wood chips on top of that, just so that, it looks a little bit nicer. And then the whole vegetable garden is going to be wood chipped as well. I think, maybe. We'll see how that goes, because I don't know if I want to wood chip the whole thing, because that could get expensive. I mean, it couldn't. It might not be expensive, but it's just, I don't know. Some grass is okay with me, but not a bunch of grass. So we'll see how that goes. So this fruit guild, I planted some comfrey, which I see right here. So this is comfrey right here. It looks like it's still alive. I'm not really familiar with growing comfrey, but I planted one here, and then there's supposed to be another one somewhere in this area, but I haven't seen her, so I don't know what this is. But I had 3 comfrey roots, And I planted them over here, but I don't know where they are. So I know one's right here. One is, oh, I see it over there. So one's over there, and then I'll go over there and get a close-up. And then another one's somewhere over here, but I don't see her. So I don't know if she died on me or if I just can't see her. And then I also planted some lemon balm, which looks okay. It looked like that when before I planted it here. So I think it'll spread and get happier as time goes on. And I planted it specifically here because there's a lot more shade in that area. Lemon balm, it likes shadier areas. It likes being under trees and under canopies. So that's why I tried to plant her. And lemon balm is so good for your mental health. It's just a very uplifting herb. And it tastes really good. Well, at least I do. And you can do like lemon balm glycerate. And that tastes extremely good. It's just like lemon sugar. Lemon balm tea is very good as well. So I figured, why not plant her in my garden? She's beautiful. She helps people with their ailments. And this is a medicinal garden again. So pretty plants that have pretty and beautiful properties is everything that should be here. So onto this area. The plan here, I'm not really sure what the plan over here is. Let's get over here so you can see a little bit better. So I laid down a bunch of cardboard. I'm not really sure what I should do here, but I know I want at least 2 rows of no dig, and then the outside of that is wood chipped, but I don't know if I want it curved or straight. So that's the plan there. And I love how the daisies are out. Look at the daisies. So pretty. And the bees are out. It's springtime, but it's not springtime. It's fall spring. So in this area next to the mound of compost, there's gonna be a couple like narrow, long raised beds for like mint and stuff that like kind of spreads a little bit more, or that is shorter, and shorter plants. So that's the plan over there. And I wanted a seating area, like a bench or something in this area. But I don't know if I still want to go with that plan. So we'll see about that. There's a lot of Wilsies in the medicinal plant area. But I just know I want it to be beautiful and give the space that medicinal plants deserve. And also, we have mullein. I planted this mullein here on the side because I thought it'd be so pretty, just her coming up and being really tall in this area. And it looks like she's holding to this area very well. I wasn't sure about this transplant, but I transplanted her from a pot, from a compost pile that I had, and she was just growing in compost. So I transplanted her and gave her a better place to grow. So that's that there. And then something I forgot to mention is I probably need to water her, but I have some calendula that I've had. Yeah, I need to water her. So there's calendula here, and it might be planted too close together, but she'll even out in due time. She makes the prettiest flowers, the prettiest teas, and the prettiest oils for salves and body health. You can put her in salves, you can put her in lotion, you can it'll help with your eczema or itchiness. She's really pretty. So I have this bed here, and I don't know if I want to keep it there. I might keep it there, but yeah, it still needs branches around it, and that's also something that needs a little bit improvement. I probably need to put a little bit more branches and just make it stand out more. And then some things that still need to be planted and weeded out are St. John's Wort, which is right here. I don't know if you can see that, but St. John's Wort. Very good as an oil, as a massage oil. So pretty like that, and it smells so good to me. I don't know. I like St. John's Wort a lot. There's some borage that's in here that kind of self-seeded itself. And then a lot of what I think is chickweed. I think it's chickweed, but I'm not sure, so I haven't eaten it. Yeah, I don't know what this is. If you know what that is, let me know in the comments. And then there's also Yarrow here, which needs a little watering. It's kind of dry. And then the other calendula plants that I have that kind of got died out because the bigger ones that I planted over there were in between these, and so I think they just kind of got shaded out and died. So yeah, there's St. John's Wort that still needs to go somewhere. There's borage that needs to go somewhere, and I'm thinking in the no-dig area. I still have a lot of mints that are in pots there, and I still have valerian that is in pots. Yeah, so I have a ton of stuff that are still in pots that are medicinal and that want to be in the ground and have a lot of space. So yeah, that's what I still have. And then also as a bonus round, so there's an oak tree on our neighbor's property. So I went and collected a bunch of oak seeds, and I got these oak seeds so that I could plant them again, but I haven't gotten around to it. I put mud on the bottom of it, and just to keep them like chill and seem like they're still underground. So, and yeah, as you can see, there's still a lot of things that I want to do in the medicinal area of the garden. There's still some things that I also need to do in the vegetable garden, and this is a beginner's garden, so there's still a lot of work to be done and a lot of learning to be done on this land. So thank you all for hanging out with me and getting a tour of my beginner garden and planting celery with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Stay here. Oh, the ducks.
They say, who's louder?
And then, so the last bed I have is right here, but it's not finished. And, yeah, I don't know if I want it to be right there.
You filming, or are you talking to me?
I'm filming. That's an outro. That's an outtake.
Why not? It's